بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. Continue our examples with the cell or process further decision making. We have an example here for two products. We finished an example for one product and we will continue with the example for two products. We have a company here that processes a raw material. We will call it A1 raw material up to the split of point, and this is a joint production process which results in two products P1 and P2. Cost and revenue for product P1. Joint cost allocated. We assume that we allocate the joint cost of production of A1, and the allocated cost to P1 is $18,000. And we have the here allocated cost to B2 is $10,000. Then we assume that the total joint cost is $10,000 plus $18,000 equals to $28,000. Then in the selling or process further decision, the joint cost is a sunk cost. It's not related to the decision of processing further because it's already incurred. Despite of you process further or you don't process further, you incur this cost, and this cost will not change for this decision. Then it is not related to the making of the decision of processing further, and we will call it a sunk cost or irrelevant cost for this type of decision. Then what is the relevant cost for this type of decision is the cost of processing further. Cost to process P1 product to becomes P1 plus product. We improve P1 product and convert it to P1 plus product, and cost of improving P1 and make it P1 plus is $20,000. And we improve the product P2 and convert it to P2 plus. We have a cost of converting the P2 to P2 plus as $16,000. Then these two costs in yellow background is relevant here for the decision making of sell or process further. Revenues from the products, we have revenue here $38,000 from B1, and if we process further and becomes P1 plus, have $54,000 of revenue of B1 plus. Okay, here for B2 we have revenue from selling B2 is $22,000, and if we improve it to B2 plus, we have total revenue of $52,000. Determine whether the company should sell the P2 or process further to P2 plus, and will determine whether the company should sell P1 or process further to P1 plus. Here, if we go to the solution, process further, the decision rule process further as long as the incremental revenue, the additional revenue from such processing, see the incremental process cost. Okay, we have here for product 1 to product 2. Here we have sales to sell, or here we have to process further. We have here, if we want to sell this product P1, we have 38,000, then we have here $38,000, and if we process it further, here we have the P1 plus revenue $54,000. Here for cost, have here for cost we have for cost here we have cost to process P1 into P2, here from our example, here we have cost to process P1 into P1 plus 3, $20,000. Here, you want to sell, you don't have any cost here for processing. If you want to process further, we have $20,000 additional cost. Then, if we analyze these amounts, we have net income increase or decrease. Sales will increase from 38,000 to 54,000, then will increase by 54,000 minus 38,000, increase by 16,000, and this results in increase in income and net income by 16,000. And here the cost to process B1 into B1 plus will increase by 20,000 from 0. If we want to sell it as is, we don't have to incurring $20,000, but if we want to convert B1 to B1 plus, we want to pay additional 20,000 or incur additional $20,000, then here we have an increase in cost, which will result in decrease in net income. We have here decrease in net income by $20,000. Then the final result here, equals to, here we have equals to, okay, here equals to, okay, we have here equals to 30,000 minus 0 equals 30,000, and we have here the 54,000 minus 20,000 here equals to 34,000, and we have here the final result for the processing is 16,000 plus minus 20,000 equals to minus 4,000. What this means? That we mean that if we process further, we have an increase in revenue by 16,000 only, but we have an increase in cost by 20,000 because the increasing or the incremental cost exceeds the incremental revenue. Then we have the net income will be decreased here by 4,000 because the increasing in cost is 20,000 and the increasing of revenue only 16,000. Then we have an increase in cost more than increase in revenue by $4,000, and this results in decreasing the revenue or decreasing the net income, by $4,000. Therefore, then the result here or the decision making here is to sell the product B1 as B1 and not process further and not processing further to B1 plus, because processing further to B1 plus will decrease the net income of the company by 4,000. Then we must here produce and sell only B1 and not convert to B1 plus. For P2, we have here for P2 can have here same can have here the same manner of analysis. We have the sales of product P2 and P2 plus. The sales of P2 equals to 22,000. Any price $22,000, and the sales for P2 plus is $42,000, and cost to process, we can here cost to process P2 into P2 plus, here 0, we don't want to process it further, and here we have according to our example, 16,000 here, 16,000, and we have here the result is we have increase in revenue by 30,000 and increase in net income by 30,000. If we process the P2 and becomes P2 plus, we will have an increase in revenue by 30,000, and here we have an increase in cost by 16,000, which results in decrease in net income by 16,000. Then here we have finally equals to 22,000 minus 0, and we have here 36,000 for process further, and finally here we have 30,000, okay, plus here minus 16,000. We have here 14,000. Then we have an increase on an incremental revenue of 30,000 more than increase or incremental cost of 16,000, which results in increase in net income for the company for 14,000. If we process P2 to P2 plus, then the decision rule or the decision here is to process P2 and convert it to P2 plus, because this will increase the net income of the company by $14,000. Okay, this is the second example of more than one product. Here we have two products of sell or process further decision type. Okay, thank you.